This is going to be a review, a recap, a react to Gilmore Girls, starting from the very beginning. Yeah, basically I'm just gonna recap the show and critique the hell out of it because that's what I do in my own personal life. I just get mad watching this show sometimes, but I also like a lot of it. Like I've watched it several times. So I do watch this show despite my many issues with it. I keep coming back around to it. Like every fall, everyone's like, it's Gilmore Girls time. And I'm like, you're right. But like some background on the show is that it started airing in October 2000. And I guess it was a flagship series for WB Network. I think that means it was like a good show or something. But it definitely was like critically acclaimed for its witty banter and its repartee and its like pop culture references. And people really liked, I think, the mother-daughter generational thing. And the creator, Amy Sherman Palladino, apparently when she went to go pitch the show, it was like a last-ditch effort, and she was like, it's about a mother and daughter and their BFFs. The network ate it up and they were like, you got a deal. A couple things about the actresses. Lauren Graham, who plays Lorelai Gilmore, is 33 years old. Like the actress is 33 years old when the series starts. Rory Gilmore, Alexis Bledel, the actress who plays Rory, she was 19 years old when this series starts. And I think that like she looks like 16. I believe it. The actress who plays Lane was 27 years old when this series started airing. 27. Okay, but let's start. Let's just start. Where the pilot episode is called Pilot. Season 1, episode 1, Pilot. We start off and we see Lorelai Gilmore crossing the street wearing a striped beanie, a purple jacket, and carrying a black bag that is like the size of Luke Steiner. It's massive. And this outfit, like I don't know what the creator had in mind or what they were trying to portray, but I'm getting poor. Message received. She looks like she has no money. So she goes into Luke's, and this is where we learn that like most of Lorelai's personality is coffee. She loves coffee. No talkie before coffee. That's Lorelai. And she's like, oh my God, I've had 5 cups. Could I have another? And Luke, the owner of the diner, is like, you're crazy. Stop drinking so much coffee. So there's a man there, a strange man, we don't know. This guy just starts hitting on Lorelai, and he's like, I'm new here. And she's like, that's cool, you're a regular Jack Kerouac. And then Rory comes in, and she's like, it's freezing. She says, it's freezing and I need lip gloss. And Lorelai pulls out of her massive bag some makeup. And she's like, what do you want? I got it all. And Rory says, her line, RuPaul doesn't need this much makeup. Now, wait a minute. Are you trying to like shade RuPaul? And number 2, she absolutely does need that much makeup. Like she absolutely does need that much makeup. It's a normal amount of makeup, and RuPaul is a drag queen. Like it's not just like a little foundation, like it's full out. So she does. You're wrong. You'd be lucky, you'd be lucky to look like RuPaul. Anyways. So then she also says she lost her Macy Gray CD and she needs caffeine. And I totally understand that. And then the guy starts hitting on Rory, and Lorelai comes back and she's like, oh, I see you met my daughter. And the guy's like, ooh, like he can't believe that they're mom and daughter. They look the same age. And Lorelai's like, she's 16. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm just like cynical, I don't know, but I'm like, you look like mother and daughter. Like, I'm not like, you guys, what? I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. But I guess I'm alone in that. And anyways, that's the first like scene, and then we get to the opening credits with the opening theme song, which is Where You Lead by Carole King, an absolute banger. So that song alone, in my opinion, is the reason, one of the main reasons why the show really took off, is because that song is so awesome. People just like love listening to it. So when it comes on, they're like, if you're like you can't just help like jamming out to it. So I know that's one of the reasons I keep playing it, because I just want to hear that song. Okay, so now we are at the Independence Inn where Lorelai works. This is where we meet Michel, a French man who works with Lorelai. And we also get a great cameo from none other than Mrs. Ungermeyer from Lizzie McGuire movie. That's right. And she's like, Mrs. Ungermeyer is hungry. So we see Mrs. Ungermeyer and she plays the harp. And Lorelai's like, can you be nicer to the guests here? And Drella is like, no. Do you want me to play? Like, I came here to slay on the harp. So do you want me to do that or be nice to your patrons? And then Rory comes into work and she's like talking about a French paper and Michelle's French, so she's like, oh, maybe you can help her. And then Michelle's like, absolutely not. Like, cause his thing is kind of like he hates everything and everybody, especially Lorelai. So he's like, I'm not gonna help you. And Rory, to get him to help her, says, I'll tell all the ladies what a stud you are. And I was kind of like, oh, you're gonna tell the ladies what a stud he is, huh? So then we meet Lane. We're back in Stars Hollow, and we learn that she listens to evil rock music and that she's Korean, and her parents or her mom set her up on this date with another Korean family because it's like an arranged marriage type thingamabob. It's not really, but like it is, you know? So then like we pop back into school and like the popular girls are laughing at Rory. They're like, she's a loser, she's doing her homework. And then we pop back into the Independence Inn and Mrs. Ungermeyer continues to slay on the harp and she's like, will somebody pay me? And it's like we're jumping all over the place, and honestly, I'm getting whiplash from this first episode because I'm like we can't stay in one place for more than 2 minutes. We're back at the Independence Inn and there's absolute chaos in the kitchen, and this is where we meet S1e1. So she fell, there's pots and pans everywhere, there's food, and Lorelai comes running and says to the other people in the kitchen, I thought I told you to watch her. Oh my god, S1e1, you gotta be careful. You gotta be much more careful in the kitchen. Like, basically, they're trying to paint like S1e1 as this absolute, like, incapable idiot. Like, they're treating her like she's a 4-year-old child who can't be alone in the kitchen. S1e1's like, oh my gosh, try the sauce I made, and she doesn't care that the whole kitchen's a mess. And Lorelai's like, this is pretty good sauce. And they forget all about the mess. Lorelai's like, this will be great sauce for us to serve when we open our own inn one day. I'm kind of confused by this because I don't know who owns the Independence Inn, but like, I know that Lorelai runs it and S1e1's the chef there. If they were to open their own inn, Lorelai would run that and S1e1 would be the chef. So it kind of seems like they have what they already want, but what do I know? We go back to Stars Hollow and we meet Mrs. Kim. Kim's Antiques. Lane goes in the antique shop that her mom runs, but that's also where they live. And so she's trying to find her mom, and there's chairs and tables everywhere. And Rory is with Lane and she's like, why does your mom hate me? And Lane is like, my mom doesn't hate you. She hates your mother because she doesn't trust unmarried women. Now, I don't agree with the sentiment that unmarried women should not be trusted. However, I do agree with Mrs. Kim, her distaste for Lorelai. I agree with that. So then Miss Kim is like, how was school today? Did anyone drop out or get pregnant? And Rory makes a joke. Mrs. Kim is like, boys don't like funny girls. Don't make jokes. Don't get on Mrs. Kim's bad side. So now we're back in the kitchen. We see S1e1 like almost chopping her hand off, and Lorelai runs in and she's like, oh my god, S1e1, Rory got into Chilton. And she's like, oh my god, I offered to do the principal to help her get in. She can finally go to Harvard and she can finally get the education I never got. She can finally do all the things I never got to do. Who would be? I'm gonna have to stop you right there, Lorelai. I'm gonna have to stop you right there. You better shut your mouth about that, because what do you mean she's gonna get the education you never got? What does she mean she's gonna experience all the things you never got to experience? That was a choice you made, mama. That was a choice you made. You could have gone to Harvard, gotten an education you wanted. That was your choice not to do that. So shut your mouth. So they're celebrating, and Rory comes in and she's like, you're happy. Did you do something slutty? That's what she says. That's her line. She fully says that. And Lorelai's like, I'm not that happy. Okay, moving on. Lorelai tells Rory she got into Chilton. She's back alone. I don't know where Rory went, but Lorelai's got the bill. Okay, and it turns out this private school, this elite private school, is gonna cost her some change. It's gonna cost something. So Lorelai's like, OMG, I don't have the money. So she calls the school and she's like, could you like help me? And they're like, No. So she's freaking out. She's like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Rory has to go to Chilton. She got in, but I can't pay for it. So what am I to do? So her and Suki are trying to come up with ways to handle this huge problem. And Suki is like, we could sell my car, we could do, they come up with a bunch of stupid ideas. And Suki's like, I got an idea. How about you? And before she can finish, Lorelai's like, absolutely not. I would never. I could never. No, no, no. I'd rather chop off my head and die. I'd rather chop off my limbs and not have arms for the rest of my life than do what you're suggesting. Like, she's like, bad suggestion. We find out that this suggestion was that Lorelai asked her parents for money. And you know what? Yeah, like if I had rich parents and they could pay for my daughter's private school education, I too would want to chop off my limbs because that would be horrible. So she's in a tough spot. We're back at home and Rory's trying on her plaid skirt that she's gonna wear to Chilton and she looks a hot mess. Like honestly, that skirt is disgusting. Like that skirt alone, whatever Rory's wearing, I'm gonna be like, you know what? Stay in public school. Forget Chilton. I don't have the money anyways, but no. Lorelai's like, oh my god, you look amazing. Let's tailor the skirt. So then she has no other choice. She has to ask her parents for money. So she shows up to their house. This is where we meet Emily and Richard Gilmore. Emily answers the door and she's like, oh my god, Lorelai, is it Easter already? Because they never see her daughter because she never comes to see them. And Lorelai's like, LOL, no, I was just in town for my business class that I take at a college and I came to see you. And Emily's like, I never knew you were in college. And Richard comes in, he's like, oh my god, Lorelai, is it Christmas already? And it's like, lol. But he's like, no, on some real shit, like, do you need money? And Lorelai's like, well, and Richard's like, you need money. And Lorelai's like, well, and she's like really mad that he's saying that because she wants to give her big speech. So she gives her big speech and she's like, I need money. And Richard's like, yeah, so you need money. And Lorelai's like, but like it's for Rory. You know, like I would never ask for favors. And Emily's like, oh, we know. Underlying message is they could help her, but she refuses to take it for some odd reason. We don't know the reason. We'll never know the reason. Emily and Richard are like, absolutely, without a doubt, no problem at all. We will give you all the money in the world on one condition. And this is like the premise of the show. This is the whole show is based on this one condition, pretty much. Buckle up, get ready, because this one's a doozy. Emily's like, we want to be a part of your life. She's like, we want you to come to dinner. You and Morty to come to dinner every Friday night. We want you to call us once a week with updates about your life. Now, these are some tough terms. I don't know who would agree to these absurd terms. In all seriousness, this is completely reasonable and I don't see an issue with any of this. Like, God forbid your parents want to help you and be involved in your life. You're mad about that? You're mad that they want to give you free food every... What? The way Lorelai reacts to this, you would have thought Emily said, you're going to be waterboarded. If you want this money, we're going to waterboard you. Like, that's her reaction. But she, you know, hesitantly, she agrees to them. And she's like, but just don't tell Rory that, like, you gave me the money. We're back at school. We're at Stars Hollow High. And Rory's packing up her locker because she's ready to go to Chilton, even though the bill hasn't even been paid. But she doesn't know that. So she's like, bye, Lane. And she drops her box of books. And she bumps into this man, this tall man. And Dean says to Rory, Rosemary's Baby. And she's like... And he's like, oh, you got good taste, Rosemary's Baby. That's his opening line to Rory, and I've never seen Rosemary's Baby, but I do know it's a horror film, and I'm not sure because I've never seen it, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't end well. So I find it a bit strange that he's like, you have good taste. Like, why is he bringing up Rosemary's Baby first? Like, he could have said anything, but he said, ooh, I love Rosemary's Baby, you got good taste. Like, that's kind of... But he's like... I'm Dean, and she's like, I'm Rory, but my real name is Lorelai. My mom named her after herself because she had too much Demerol. Blah, blah, blah. She sounds like an absolute idiot. Dean's like, I moved here from Chicago and I need a job. And Rory's like, oh, you need a job? You should talk to Miss Patty. Miss Patty, she dances and she was on Broadway. And Dean's like, I don't dance. Rory's like, no, you idiot. Like, Miss Patty runs this town and she's gonna help you get a job. We're gonna go to Stars Hollow, but the transition is where we first hear this transition that is used throughout the show. It's like the Miley Cyrus, Hannah Montana thing, but it's the Gilmore Girls who invented singing transitions. They invented la la la. So it kind of goes like la la la, la 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 la. We're back in Stars Hollow and they're making small chat. Dean says, how do you like Moby Dick? And Rory says, it's my first Melville. Wait a minute. How do you know I'm reading Moby Dick? This is where Dean really exposes himself. He's like, well, I know you've been reading Moby Dick because I've been watching you, but not in a creepy way. I've just been stalking you every single day after school, and I watch how you read under that tree, and I know which book you read last Tuesday, and there was a fight on Friday, and it was big chaos, and you didn't even look up from your book. You were kept reading. You were so focused. And I was so focused on you and not the fight that I was like, since we both have this focus, me on you, you on the book, we must meet. And Rory is like, oh my God, you've been watching me? In case you missed it, there was about 30 red flags. First red flag is that Dean exists. Second red flag is that he loves Rosemary's Baby. Third red flag is that he's a stocko creepo weirdo. What? Somebody put this man in jail. Like, he's a freak, but nobody cares. Lorelai and Rory are back at Luke's and they're both acting like they're super sad and upset for some reason. I guess Lorelai's upset because she has to have dinner with her parents. So she's like, oh, by the way, Rory, we have to have dinner with my parents. And Rory's like, what? Or we never eat at our grandparents. And like, what if I had plans? Like, why didn't you ask me? Like, you should have asked me. And Lorelai's like, now wait a minute. I thought I had dibs on being the bitch tonight. And Rory says, just tonight? And Lorelai says, what the hell is wrong with you? And they get in this big fight and Rory's like, I don't want to go to Chilton. And Lorelai's like, I have to leave. She like gets up in the middle of dinner. One thing about Lorelai is she loves to make a scene. Rory's like, you have to pay. Like, you can't just abandon me at this diner and you can't just like run out of a restaurant because you're in a mood. They're walking home and they walk by Miss Patty's and Miss Patty's like, hey, Rory, that friend who's a boy, I got him a job. And Lorelai's like, boy? You know, tell me about boy. And Rory's like, I don't want to talk to you. No. When they get home, they storm into the house and Lorelai's like, I should have known. The reason you don't want to go to Chilton is because it's a boy. I should have known. After all, you are me. And Lori's like, no, I don't want to talk to you. Like, I'm done with this conversation. And Lorelai's like, no, you can't throw your life away because of a boy. I know you're me, but this is crazy. And Rory's like, we're done talking now. Like, I'm going to bed. And Lorelai will not drop it. She's like, does he have a motorcycle? He better have a motorcycle because if you're gonna ruin your life, he better have a motorcycle. And Rory's back in her room at this point. She's stopped listening to Lorelai. Lorelai, she can't help herself. So she goes into Rory's room after just like yelling at her. And she's like, okay, can we make up now? And Rory's like, no, like, I don't want to talk to you. And Lorelai's like, you don't want to talk to me? Fine. We've always had a democracy in this house and we never did anything unless we both agreed. But I'm going to play the mom card and you're going to Chilton. And I'm kind of like, oh, now you're going to play the mom card. 16 years too late, Lorelai Gilmore. Like, come on. That's not a card you hold on to. You kind of play that like day one. You don't, that's... One thing that's interesting about this whole thing is like Rory not wanting to go to Chilton, like, could have really saved Lorelai. Like, she could have been like, oh my God, yeah, you don't want to go to Chilton? Like, now I don't have to go to dinner with my parents because that's torture. But the thing about Lorelai is she loves to complain. Lorelai is woe to me. Her life is horrible. Her life is the worst. It's worse than anybody else's. Like, you think your life is bad? You haven't met Lorelai Gilmore. Lorelai's back at the inn and Suki is crying because she set the kitchen on fire and burned it down. And Lorelai's like, oh, stop crying. You know, I didn't even get any sleep last night. Kind of different, but okay. And Suki's like, it's normal for daughters and mothers to fight. And Lorelai's like, but not for us. We never fight. Okay, so you don't fight? that means that you have a bad relationship. And Lorelai is like ready to get over it. Like she doesn't understand why Rory's still upset, but Rory is still upset. She has Rory come to the inn. Rory doesn't like immediately want to get over it. So Lorelai's like, go home. It's Friday night dinner and they're outside the door of Casa de Gilmore. And they're just standing there and Lorelai's like, I know we're fighting, but like, can you just be civil for the next hour? Please? And Rory's like, yeah, I can because I'm a civilized human being. Come on, Lorelai. Like, when has Rory ever been uncivil? You know who isn't gonna be civil and needs talking to is Lorelai Gilmore. The thing about Lorelai is she's queen of projection. If she's yelling at you, it's because like she can't take accountability for herself. So Emily's like, my girls are here. I got champagne for my girls. Toast to Rory's education. I can't say Lorelai and Rory's. Like, I can't do it. Emily's like, education's so important, family's so important. And Lorelai tries to make a joke about pie. And the room was silent. And Lorelai's like, that was a joke. And Emily's like, yeah, we know. You're not funny. So then they're at the dinner table and Emily's like, she's so happy that Rory's there. And she's like, Rory, like, is the lamb okay? Is it too dry? And Rory's like, no, Grandma, it's absolutely perfect. And Lorelai, unprompted, says, the potatoes could use some salt though. Emily says, excuse me? My God. The restraint on this woman, Emily, I would have slapped her upside the head. She deserved that. So then Richard says, how's the motel? Lorelai says, it's an inn and it's great. And Richard's like, that's interesting. Christopher, who we learn is Rory's dad, he's like, Christopher is doing super great too, and he's super successful and super smart. Rory, that's probably where you get it from. Lorelai's like, oh, that's it. She gets up talking about how she has to get a knife from the kitchen. She just throws a huge tantrum. She starts scrubbing the pots, acting like a mad woman. And Emily comes in after her and she's like, can you come back to the dinner table? And Lorelai, she says, is this how it's gonna be every week? You two are just gonna attack me? And Emily says, I think you're being a little dramatic. And she's right. Emily is right. And Lorelai says, were you not just there? And Emily's like, I think you took what your father said the wrong way. Now, she did not take what her father said the wrong way. It is true that he was absolutely calling Lorelai dumb, but the truth is, Lorelai is dumb. And her dad said it in the nicest way he possibly could. So they start yelling and she's like, why did he have to bring up Christopher? Why did he have to do that? He loves him now, but he didn't love him when he got me pregnant at 16. And Emily's like, well, if you two had gotten married, maybe you both would have been happier. Lorelai's like, actually, if we got married at that age, we wouldn't be where we are. We wouldn't be as successful. We wouldn't be as happy. And Emily's like, no, I think you would have. You probably would have been better off because I would have continued to be in your life and helped you financially, and Rory would be better off. But God forbid you ask for help. Lorelai's like, you wanted to control me. And Emily was like, you were a child at 16 when you got pregnant. Lorelai says, I stopped being a child the minute that strip turned pink. Now, this is actually incorrect, Lorelai. You actually never stopped being a child. You're actually more of a child now than you probably were at 16. And that's saying something. Lorelai's like, I had to find a good job. I had to do this all on my own. And Emily's like, yeah, you didn't have to. Like, imagine if you had accepted our help. And like, newsflash, Lorelai, nobody likes their parents. You're not special. But if your parents are rich as you suck it up. They're really not that bad. Like, you take their money. She loves to suffer. She's like, no, I don't want to be happy. I want to suffer so I can complain. Like, what she doesn't like factor in is that like she's hurting Rory because of it. Like, Rory could be in a better position if she I can't get into this right now. Emily's like, fine, you have your precious pride and I have my weekly dinners. That pretty much sums it up. They cut back to the dinner table and Richard's asleep. Lorelai and Rory are out of there and Lorelai's like, woe to me, business is bad. They're like, let's go to the diner and eat more because like that's their thing. They eat a lot, but they never gain any weight. So they're at the diner and Rory's like, it was so brave of you to ask for money. She's super serious. Like, she literally thinks it was brave of her mom to ask her parents for money. Yikes. Luke comes in and he's like looking fine. And Lorelai's like, And Rory's like, I'll have some chili fries. And Luke is like, I can't stand this. To see this 16-year-old girl be so unhealthy, you don't want to grow up like your mother. That's what he says to her. And Rory says, too late. And that's where we end the episode. To recap, Lorelai is the worst. Rory is what she is. And Emily Gilmore is slay. Richard Gilmore, cool guy in my opinion. Miss Patty, absolute slay. Lane, slay. Miss Kim, slay. Dean, criminal. And Luke is Luke. I think you're supposed to think that like Lorelai and Rory are like the best. I think you're supposed to think like Lorelai and agree with Lorelai that Richard and Emily are evil, but they're not. I'm sorry. Like, I will not tolerate Emily slander because Emily is a queen. Like, people love to hate on a middle-aged woman. Like, you know what? She's rich as and she has the worst daughter in the world. Totally unappreciative. Pain in the ass. Even though she has the worst daughter in the world, she still wants to help her. She still is like, you know what? I will help you. I will continue to help you and I'll give you lamb dinners on Friday night. Who? I'm sorry. I would be like, oh, okay, yeah, I don't care how much I hate you. Like, there's a 5-star meal. Like, these meals that they're feeding them are like the best, top of the line food. I would take like, wow, not only are you paying for my daughter's education, but you're gonna give me 5-star meals every week? Like, do we not see how up it is that Lorelai thinks this is a bad thing and tries to complain about this? Anyone would be lucky to be in her situation. Lorelai doesn't deserve Richard and Emily. She doesn't. That's my opinion, but that's episode 1, the pilot. Stay tuned for episode 2.